Sport and Order, the Elite Eight. I know you are loving tournament action wherever you are. Just take a second, step away from the NCAA and check out Sport and Order Elite Eight. Let's take a look at today's matchup. Look at that. It is a power dynamic. Toe-to-toe we go with the social media director from FanSided, Ashley Young, at Young_Ashley on Twitter. Hi, Ashley. How are you?
I'm great. Excited to be back.
And Adam Weinrib, FanSided, Yanks Go Yard. He's got a new podcast out. The man is just absolutely dominating, hanging out with Rob Riggle. Adam, good to see you.
Good to see you, Mark. Unlike the real tournament, this thing is straight chalk.
That's that may or may not be the case here. We shall see. I didn't know if we actually had seatings. I got to look closer at the bracket. Did we see these people? Because both
I
of you
don't know. Yeah.
I mean, nobody really does. But this is a great matchup today, and you're both. This is both. Everyone's a one seed. That's how we do it. So let's see here. We've got 7 questions on the board. That's how we do it. First to four to advance to the final 4. 30 seconds for each answer will be on the clock. I am the judge. I am the jury. And yes, I will make the decision on who advances to the final 4 today. The pressure is on. We are going to start with Adam today, and we are fittingly going to start with the NCAA tournament. So many storylines. You got the 15 seed Oral Roberts doing it. You've got Loyola and Sister Jean making perhaps another Final Four run. We got the father-son duo going on in Syracuse. How cool is that? Way to go, Orange. Bubble team not playing like it right now. So March Madness once again delivering. I'm looking for your favorite Sweet 16 storyline. See how you sell it. Adam, you are up. What do you think?
Okay, so I thought I was bored of Sister Jean's spooky powers before tip-off with Illinois, but then I realized it was actually just because I chose the Illini to win the whole thing, and I was preemptively annoyed. So I'll show some love to the chronically underseeded Loyola Chicago Ramblers, the 9th best team in the country per Ken Palm, who we all just ignored anyway. I'll also praise Cameron Crudwig because I don't want to speak ill of my elders. He is 42. But what about the Pac-12? UCLA is beyond frisky. They have Abilene Christian tonight. Oregon State, the projected last place team in the conference, is in the Sweet 16. Colorado, USC, Oregon all rolled. Big Ten bad. Pac-12 great.
There was a lot of answers in there, and I do like that you brought up Abilene Christian, which is the only school in the tournament that I have done play-by-play at their school. So a little bit of a sentimental value for me. Ashley, what's your favorite storyline?
All right, I'm cheating question 1 already. So we're manifesting a Sweet 16 storyline here. But Ohio University, we have Jason Preston, who used to write for one of our FanSided blogs. So this kid wanted to go to J school, wrote for our Detroit Pistons site, got some highlights out on Twitter, and now is playing for university at the national level in March Madness. If that is not the coolest hometown FanSided story, it doesn't even compete. Sister Jean's old news. We've heard that story already. Sorry, Sister. That feels sacrilegious, but we've heard it before.
You just just called Sister Jean old news, which, let's be honest, you're not wrong. She has gotten a lot of miles here, and we love you, Sister Jean, and you're phenomenal. And this is an interesting angle because you're bringing it back home here to the FanSided brand, which is a phenomenal play by Ashley here. And Adam, you kind of were all over the map, and so Ashley's giving it to everybody that we work with, or have worked with, or will work with one day. Ashley, you get on the board here, 1-0. For bringing in the hometown FanSided feel. I did not see that coming. Nice work. Question 2, we go, and we're sticking with the NCAA, and little coming up short here, the old NCAA, overwhelmingly, I'd say, as the video has shown that, of course, the men's basketball tournament, they got the sweet weight room, they got the sweet food, not so much for the women. The disparity actually has been fixed after attention was brought by many, including former Oregon star Sabrina Ionescu, Kyrie Irving weighing in, Steph Curry, many more. So we don't know what the NCAA is going to do going forward. They've made this right. But if the NCAA chooses to use this as an opportunity to be better in the future, what is the next thing the NCAA should implement to make the playing field more level between the men and the women? Ashley, you're up.
Well, I think it's worth mentioning that it wasn't just a weight room disparity. It's the whole experience, the swag bag, the food they received, They're even using different COVID tests. So we're talking about the health and well-being of these players. The message is clear. The NCAA does not care about its female athletes, and it's really discouraging. The fix is bigger than, oops, we didn't realize what we did. You know what you've been doing. You're perpetuating this archaic and underfunded opportunity. You got to invest in these players, get the games on national television, bring in that fan base. If you don't give them the right tools, they're never going to take off as programs.
It's very worthwhile underline that it wasn't just the weight room, very much true. So, Adam, which way are you going on this? What can the NCAA going forward to be better?
Yeah, shame on the NCAA for this, the latest in a long line of reasons to be ashamed to work for the NCAA. I would like to see the WNBA NCAA pipeline change a little bit. As it stands, the stars of women's basketball have to stay in college until graduation or the age of 22 before they can turn pro. Of course, the men can famously leave after their freshman year or just wander over to the G League and get paid. Can anyone tell me why these standards should be different for women and men? Sabrina Ionescu, who you mentioned, set records at Oregon, got selected first overall by the Liberty, and then got immediately injured, stunting her freshman season. Why do we take 3 years of earning power away from her?
So it's really interesting. And in Sabrina's case, she actually thought about coming out because I guess she had reached 22 and decided to come back because they came up short in the tournament before. I find that but that is completely archaic. And I would almost argue that you could even go further, and declare and be willing to come back, but that should be both on the men and women's side. By the way, it should be way more. The NCAA should be much more friendly to their athletes when they're trying to figure out if they can play pro or not. But I like what you're bringing up here, Adam. So I'm going to tie it up. 1-1. That's a cool avenue here. Look, when we're talking about the NBA, we should be talking about the WNBA as well, or playing overseas, whatever somebody wants to do with their career. All right, 1-1. To LeBron James we go, into the NBA, and the King is out indefinitely with a high ankle sprain, which in all likelihood that ends his MVP chances. And of course, the Lakers' chances to finish up top the Western Conference. But LeBron's going to get a bunch of rest right now. Seemingly will be fresh for the playoffs. My question is this: will this injury actually help, or does it hurt the Lakers going forward? Adam, what do you think?
I'm not betting against them, but I do think it hurts them. The Lakers are just 2.5 games ahead of 2 MVP candidates in Nikola Jokic and Damian Lillard in the 5 and 6 spots in the conference. And as arenas open up and allow more and more fans to attend NBA games by the playoffs, losing home court advantage could be actually devastating for LA's title chances. Without both AD and LeBron, it's a bleak roster of side pieces. They weren't constructed to survive this way. Treading water would be fine in James's absence, but the Lakers might not even do that. And can we get an Anthony Davis update? I can't even project the playoffs properly until I have any idea where he is.
So you're saying it's going to hurt him in maybe even a significant way. Ashley?
I disagree with the home court advantage. I don't know if I see stadiums opening up to full capacity of fans. So I don't think the home court advantage is as big of a worry. And quite frankly, obviously, they're going to struggle a little bit, LeBron and Anthony Davis being hurt. But we're talking about the playoffs. LeBron coming in with a chip on his shoulder. I'm not worried about any rust. He's going to come back. He'll be just fine. And he's going to have something to prove. So I feel like he's going to come in hot. And I think it almost helps them in a way.
So I'm thinking back to like 2011 when LeBron James scored 8 points in an NBA Finals game, which is just utterly pathetic. But of course, he did decide before getting hurt here, which in the King fashion, he hits a 3 in the corner. I've got one more shot in this bum ankle so I can continue my 10-point streak. And I'm just seeing the future. I'm with Ashley here. I don't think it's going to matter. I think he comes back and he's LeBron and they can win games on the road. I don't think this is going to have a huge impact. If they're the 7 seed or the 2 seed, I like the Lakers still. Actually taking a 2-1 lead. Now, something that is interesting here as teams continue to stock up, the trade deadline is coming up. It's this Thursday. Many names are out there. Aaron Gordon is reportedly being asked to be traded from the Magic. Lonzo Ball's name continues to be out there. Victor Oladipo may not be sticking in Houston much longer. Harrison Barnes, Sacramento, thinking about the Kings apparently trying to punt on their roster because they've had a rough year. So give me one player, and it can be somebody else too, who will be moved and will actually make an impact wherever he goes. Ashley?
We'll go with the news today. Aaron Gordon's name's been all over my timeline. First of all, I did not know he was only 25. That man has been around forever, 25 years old. But I want to see him with the Celtics. I think the Gordon Hayward left a bigger void on offense than a lot of people anticipated. And Aaron Gordon, he's averaging 14 points a game, 7 rebounds, and he's shooting 40% from 3-point. So get him on the offense, mix him in up in Boston, and I'd like to see what would come of that.
Energy guy, maybe give you some offense as well, Adam.
Yeah, Aaron Gordon is Cameron Krutwig's nephew, so that's cool. There is an Eastern Conference team playing last possession games with the Nets and Sixers these past few weeks without a point guard, and there's a point guard on the market whose extremely loud dad has let it be known that he'd entertain joining this team over the summer. So I'm signing Lonzo Ball to the Knicks, and I'm confident he'll get there in a few months anyway, even if it doesn't materialize at the deadline. The Knicks do not have a born facilitator without Elfrid Payton. Ball shoots 38.5% from 3. He's just 23 years old. It's a perfect fit. If it can't be the Knicks, I guess I'll accept Denver, but please send Lonzo Ball to the Mecca.
So it's interesting because I think Lonzo may be a guy that gets moved because there is multiple teams interested. The Bulls are supposedly interested in Lonzo Ball. You mentioned Denver. The Knicks have been interested for a long time. New York might not want to give up a draft pick and maybe want to wait it out because they think he'll come to New York. I'm not sold on Lonzo Ball for the record here. The talent's there, but it's something seems to be missing, at least at times. But I do think that, wow, this is a tough one because I like Aaron Gordon as an energy guy, able to jump right in. And Lonzo, hey, go run our team in the middle of the season's tough. But I do think he could have a greater impact if it actually takes off in New York. Could seriously use him. And what's going on with Derrick Rose? Can he get back on the court here? So we'll tie it up 2 apiece here. Lonzo, I actually expect him to go somewhere. All right, we're going back to the MVP race, which we continue to touch on. LeBron now out, so take him out of the race. And he was the overwhelming favorite, and the media had a narrative that he was, going to be the guy this year, and deservedly so. Certainly, LeBron should have more than the 4 MVPs, but now that he has been injured and it does not look good that way, I want to know, who do you think steps into the void and will end up claiming the award this year? Question 5. That means, Adam, you're up.
Do we just use photos of only LeBron screaming at refs? He does play basketball, too. Keep your eyes firmly tuned to James Harden. Kevin Durant fell into the Springfield mystery spot. Kyrie Irving left the team for at least their upcoming road trip to deal with a family matter. So that'll only put more of the spotlight on Harden, who's basically fallen into his old Houston offense in Brooklyn already, facilitating, dominating a career-high 11.3 dimes per game in BK as of now. Kind of weird for an award that's so often narrative-based to go to a guy who started the season by causing health risks for his teammates on his way out of town. But the next few spotlight games will come at a perfect time to cement his case.
Nets are playing great basketball. Ashley?
Obviously I'm a little biased. I was really pulling for Joel Embiid's MVP, but like LeBron, dealing with an injury. So I don't think it's in the cards. I'm going with another big, Jokic. I love the guy, and I absolutely love the Nuggets team that we saw in the bubble last year. And I think if they can build back up to that momentum and he's contributing, putting up the numbers that he has been all season, powering through some injuries on that team, I really like the Nuggets. They were fun to watch in the bubble last year, and I would love to see an MVP season out of Jokic for the rest of the year.
I love that combo with Murray, and Denver is incredibly entertaining, and a very, very strong candidate. But I think I'm leaning with Harden here because that train is running smooth right now, and he has been the one that's taken
right tools.
I
of
know.
Of course it's running smooth.
I know. That's how we do things. I'm not even saying it's right, but that's how people vote. Like, the Nets got the best record. Harden came over. He's running the point. Let's give it to James. Like, I really think that's how it's going to go. Although right now, if you go to the betting boards, it is more leaning towards Jokic, but I think Harden's going to be the guy. So 3-2, Adam, we go to question 6, and we're going back to college hoops here. This has been an incredibly bizarre tournament. They all are, but it's a little bit different as we watch it because we just hear cat calls from select fans in the stands who somehow, some way got a ticket, but they're in there, and coaches are like, Coach Musselman's going crazy and pointing at the 25 people that are there, and everyone's staying in Indy. So it's just a different feel this year. I want to know if, as we're watching these games, because I think the ratings are going to be huge, is the NCAA tournament better in one city with only some selected fans from the represented schools in the stands versus, sometimes you're going to have home court advantage, sometimes you're not. Is the tournament better this way, Ashley?
I'm conflicted. I think we are still navigating pandemic sports and what it means enjoying it on TV or, out at the games. But I am kind of drawn to the idea of like Super Bowl vibes. I like it in one place. The bubble's a little weird, only having so many fans, but that's kind of the luck of the draw. If you have home court advantage one year, so be it. These things are planned well in advance. So I like having this hub of fans. I think it makes for a weird and a little chaotic experience, but I'm not opposed to it moving forward.
A one spot situation for the tournament down the line. It's interesting. Adam?
I say no way, and not just because I'd like to go. It's because I do like the Super Bowl vibes of the Final Four specifically. I like that being slightly elevated from the rest of the tournament. I also, you got to blame the bubble in some respects, but it's definitely decreased the quality of play to have these upper echelon teams sort of very restricted and only playing, you don't have the roar of the crowd. Obviously you can't, but you also sort of have this one city thing. Also, we're saying it could be better in one city, but we really just mean it's better in Indiana because there aren't that many places that can easily accommodate this venture.
Yeah, but see, then we're all thinking about Gene Hackman and Hoosiers and Shooter and Jimmy Chua or the picket fence, Adam. I actually see, like, I don't think it has to necessarily be Indiana, but like you could plan it. The NCAA tournament this year is at Madison Square Garden. Do you want to go? Do you think your team's going to be there? Oh, well, I'm either canceling my ticket or sweet, we did make it, and now I'm going to spend a nice couple of days in New York or 3 weeks or Indy or Chicago. And I think it kind of levels the playing field versus like, oh, it's the tournaments in India and that's close to this. It doesn't feel right. I like it. I'm in 3-3. Ashley, I'm with you and I like how you kind of summed it up there. Like, just we have one spot for the tournament the whole way through, and then the teams hang out and you got to like mind your P's and Q's the whole thing. It makes it even more challenging. 3-3 to our decider. And this is a very open-ended question as we go to the NFL. A lot of potential answers here. And a lot of teams have been very active, and some have been less active, but maybe making the right moves for them. That's right. We're talking about the NFL and which team, as we've had a little moment to step back here and just assess it, which NFL team has actually had the best free agency period, has helped them the most, that when we look back after the 2021 season, it's like, whoa, that team really did the right things in the offseason to set themselves up. Which NFL team had the best free agency? Question 7. That means that, Adam, you are up.
Not the New England Patriots. Sorry, guys, you don't get to sign a metric ton of B minuses and expect me to pat you on the back. Even Robert Kraft said he would have laughed at the Patriots in years past. I'm going with the Washington football team, who might have had the two shrewdest signings of the whole free agency period. They reunited Curtis Samuel with his Ohio State teammate Terry McLaurin on offense, a great chemistry and scheme fit, and added quarterback William Jackson, who never should hit free agency in the first place. Ryan Fitzpatrick, also an upgrade over Alex Smith, who I wish well in his future endeavors. But Washington is dressed for success and, most importantly, knows exactly what they're building.
It has been a very, very strategic offseason for the WFT, the Washington football team. Ashley.
Excuse me. I'm excited to close it out here with more fan-sided bias. I'm going to say the Chiefs. We all watched Patrick Mahomes absolutely get wrecked during the Super Bowl this year. That's another young player. Chiefs that's their future. That's their program. So they have to protect him. Shout out Matt Verderam. He wrote a piece today on fansided.com. Go check it out about how Joe Thuney got signed with the Chiefs, how that deal came to be. I think the Chiefs recognized an immediate problem. Like you said, it's not the most active moves, it's the right moves. And they got him the protection he needed in free agency.
And they went out and brought in my guy, Kyle Long, who's back in the league to address, to address that offensive line and hope that he stays healthy. I do really like what Washington has done, and now I'm thinking about the entire body of work of both Adam and Ashley today as we decide on our Final Four situation. The pressure is on for me, and I think I'm leaning towards Ashley, leaning into the brand again with the Chiefs, and just playing to the crowd and bringing it home with love for FanSided twice today, and both points incredibly valid, as we've got Ohio winning and we've got Kansas City winning, and I know Ashley is just super excited to make it to the Final Four right now. Look at the smile on her face as she is somehow advanced. I mean,
I'm speechless.
Yeah, that
Truly speechless.
Congratulations, Ashley, as you remain speechless. Adam, thoughts on do you feel like you were slighted? This is your opportunity to go at the host and say, Carm, you don't know what you're doing. This is completely and utterly ridiculous. Go ahead.
No, I don't think it's on you. I think it's like we just watched March Madness. This is a bad matchup for me. I've gotten defeated by Ashley twice. Some people just lock horns with some teams aren't meant to beat other teams. I think that's what we've got here.
Yeah. Ashley, you want to talk about how you have Adam's number here?
I won't. I will say he's a better podcaster than a sport and orderer. So go check out Adam's podcast. It's a hoot. He's got great guests every week. Sports Fire. I think you guys have your own Twitter. Definitely plug it. Go check it out. It's an awesome podcast. So that is where Adam shines.
And why don't you plug your latest guest, which was a huge, huge get by you, Adam? Congrats on that, by the way.
Oh, yeah. We got Rob Riggle this week. We had SNL's Heidi Gardner last week. Both were incredibly fun. And this Thursday, we got Eric LeGrand and Michael Pittman Jr. from the Colts. 2 more fun ones.
I'm really looking forward to hearing all of them. But the Eric LeGrand interview, that's fantastic. I really, just good to be able to catch up with that situation. So I'm looking forward to what you're doing there. Congrats to Ashley, and thank you to one and all for watching Sport in Order as the Elite Eight rolls on this Thursday, 5 Eastern, 4 Central. That's right, Carmen. That's when the Sport in Order takes place. Ashley goes to the Final Four. We say goodbye right now. Have a great rest of your day.